Hello, I'm Kaiser and welcome to Moose Reads. Before I get started, I want to say that the opinions that I give here are my own opinions. They are extremely subjective. If I dislike a book, it is not a reflection on the author, and it is not a reflection on people who do like it. Different people have different tastes, and that's okay. Today, I will be reviewing When a Duchess Says I Do by Grace Burrows. This is the second book in the Rogues to Riches series. It is a Regency romance. The description says, Duncan Wentworth once tried his hand at rescuing a damsel in distress long ago, and he's vowed he'll never make that mistake again. Yet when he comes across a stranger in the poacher-infested woods of his estate, decency compels him to offer the lady aid. Matilda is whip-smart. She can read Duncan's horrible penmanship, and when she wears his reading glasses, all Duncan can think about is naughty Latin poetry. Widowed Duchess Matilda Wakefield can't entrust her secrets to Duncan without embroiling him in the problems that sent her fleeing from London, but neither can she ignore a man who's honorable, a brilliant chess player, and maddeningly kissable. She needs to stay one step ahead of the enemies pursuing her, and falling into Duncan's arms is a distraction she can't afford, or they'll both pay the price. 4 stars. Thankfully, this book doesn't have any of the thorny problems that made me so mad in the first one. Overall, I liked this book. I don't think the romance is anything to write home about, but the characters themselves are interesting enough, and the other half of the plot is decent. Duncan is Quinn's cousin rather than one of his siblings, so in the first book he felt a little distant from the rest of the family. I really enjoyed getting a better understanding of who he is and how he relates to the family. Fair warning to any Christian viewers that this book isn't particularly kind to the church. I'm not going to get into details because that's spoilery, but suffice it to say that there's a lot of corruption among the clergy in this book. I wasn't crazy about the way they hinted at the secondary plotline without properly explaining it for a long time. Most romances are single or dual perspective, but all of the books in this series pop around to other characters from time to time. In this book, 2 of the characters we get a few chapters from are Matilda's father and her former fiancé. It's obvious that whatever the problem is, it has to do with one or both of them, but since we don't know what it is, their POV scenes lack any real context. I found it a little frustrating. Eventually, Matilda does explain why she ran away from home, but it comes too late to do those earlier scenes any good. It might be interesting to see how a reread improves the experience. I think I could get a lot more out of those scenes when I know what the characters are dancing around. That's it for no spoilers. If you don't like spoilers, now is the time to pause or close the video. For everyone else, let's talk details. So the problem Matilda is having is treason. She accidentally comes across some coded documents in her father's satchel while looking for something mundane. I forget what exactly. She likes a good puzzle, so she gets distracted decoding it, only to discover it is plans for the French to invade. She is then caught at it by her intended, the Colonel. She hides the papers, but she's pretty sure he sneaks in to look at and likely copy them later, so she steals the documents, burns them, and runs away. She doesn't want her father to be hanged for treason, and she doesn't know what to do. When she finally explains all this to Duncan, he asks several pointed questions about some oddities in both the circumstances in the household at the time and the Colonel's behavior. Still, both Duncan and Stephen together can't quite puzzle out what the inconsistencies indicate. This I found a bit frustrating. These 2 are supposedly geniuses, but they couldn't figure out what seemed quite obvious to me. That is, that the Colonel is a spy and is still intent on marrying Matilda, so she can't testify against him. Also, Matilda's father sucks. He's not a traitor, he was actually setting a trap for the Colonel. But when Matilda finds the documents first, he doesn't even go looking for her. His superiors tell him to sit and wait, and he's just fine with that. His staff is more concerned for her well-being than he is, and they have to bully him into looking for her eventually. On the bright side, Matilda doesn't let him off the hook once things are settled. I was worried for a moment that she wouldn't hold him accountable for his callousness, so I'm glad that didn't happen. That's all I have to say about When a Duchess Says I Do. If you like this video, I hope you'll watch more in the future. Thanks for watching this one. Bye!